Good morning. Hello. How are y'all doing on this Friday? How's this week been going for you? Just curious to hear from y'all what y'all think about this distance learning thing. Being sick is not good, but at least hey, you're at home and you're not having to miss anything. You like it better than normal school? I was curious if there would be any like that. So it hasn't been too much of a workload for you. It's been pretty balanced. Yeah, I like 4 class periods a day too. It gives me a chance to get caught up. So we're just gonna wait another minute or so, let people get on since we only have 7 right now. It's easy. Good. I think we wanted to start off easy. We'd rather start off easy than it'd be too hard and have to scale back. So I'm glad you think so. Remember, when you log in, just say your name so I know who's here because it says there's 8, but I don't see 8 people that have signed in. What's up, Alexis? By the way, some of y'all might be doing this from your phone. I don't know. I just had a last minute idea. Hey, Eli. Hey, Jackson. Of making this sort of like, oh, by the way, if you're wondering about all the jewelry behind me, I'm surprised no one said anything yet. I'm in my wife's jewelry room where she sells jewelry, and this was the best place for me today. So this is not my own personal stash. But if you have a phone, I thought we could do something like a radio show and have people call in. All right. So if you are on your laptop or computer, then I might say, hey, someone want to call in and answer this one, and we'll see how that works. If it works, great. If not, we'll let it go. All right. We only have 10, but we also only have a limited amount of time. So let's go ahead and get started. How did y'all feel about the homework? Give me a quick good, bad, yeah, so. I have an iPad. Okay, good. Number 7. Yeah, I was looking at some of y'all's homework on the triangular prisms, and it was interesting. I feel like I did terrible and it was confusing. Let me see if I can find Marina's. All right, so let's go ahead and get started checking it. So I'll do the first one and then I'll have a guest speaker call in and see if that works. Where is Gabby and Johnny? It's a great question. All right, so I drew the first one. I just wanted to show y'all. I probably should have drawn it smaller, but the other day I showed y'all that you could do like lines to try to keep track. And I thought I'd give you just another method that might even be easier. So if on a quiz or test, if you don't want to draw the lines, but you want some way of making sure you track which sides you've done, then you can always just color code it as well. Color coding is a good method. So you could say, well, I want the front and back walls or faces to be green. And then when you solve it out, you could start with, let's see, what is it? 3 times 6 in green times 2. Or then we could say the side walls. It'd be a lot easier not using an expo marker if you were using a pen or something on a quiz or test or on homework. But it'll help you keep it straight. And some of y'all just like using colors anyway. Then you could do that one in blue for the 2 side walls. And then we have the top and the bottom. So we could do those in red. Like that. Like I said, with expo marker, it might look a little jacked up, but you might be able to follow it a lot easier on paper or pencil. Because it looks so weird, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm just going to stick to good old black. But color coding is definitely another strategy if you're getting lost or stuck, especially on triangular prisms. Not so much rectangular prisms, but triangular prisms. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and jump in to the first one. You check your work with mine. The first thing we're going to do is we do not have to start with any kind of formula. We could do 2 times length times width plus blah, 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 blah. But let's just go ahead and start filling it in. So like we said, the front and back walls are going to be 3 times 6. So we're going to go 2 times. Sorry, I'm going to go horizontally so that I have more room. 2 times 3 times 6 plus 2 times, and then we can do the side walls, make that 2 times 3. I know they're on different sides, but you just know if one side is 2, the other side is 2, one side is 3, the other side is 3. Plus 2 times, and then we have the top and the bottom, which is 2 times 6. So just a quick reminder that we want to see 2 of each measurement. So we have a 3, a 6, and a 6, and a 2 and a 2. That's another way to check to make sure that you're doing the right steps, at least on a rectangular prism. All right. And then we just start solving. 3 times 6 is 18, times 2, 36, plus 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 times 12 is 24. Add all those together, and we get A equals 72 feet squared. All right. Man, it's so messy on this little board. Next week, I'm going to have something better. All right. So the first one was pretty easy, right? Did we all do well on that? Do you think it's a good strategy to count each measurement to make sure you mentioned it twice? Make sure you do that. That is a surefire way to make sure that you didn't mess up. All right. Anybody want to try to call in? If so, just call, and whoever's first is first. I know some, like I said, I know some of you are on your phone, so you can't do it. That's all right. Maybe we can get a few. And we'll see if you guys can actually hear each other. It's just a trial run. Somebody call in. Come on, have some guts. We're going to do number 2. You're going to tell me what to write, and I'll write it. Who's got guts? All right. Let's see who this is. Hello, you've reached the Hawkins Show, where things get wild and crazy math style. Who am I speaking with today?
Mason.
Mason, what's up, man? Good luck on your interview today, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so tell me what you wrote on your first line for number 2. By the way, before you do, can y'all hear Mason? I have him on speaker, but make sure you speak loud and clear, Mason, so that everyone can hear. All right, what did you write for the first line on number 2?
A equals 2 times 1.6 times 5.5 plus 2 times 1.6 times 1.2.
Hold on, slow down. You said 1.6 times 5.5?
Yes.
All right, and then you said 2 times 1.6 times 1.2?
Yes.
And then what's the last one you got?
2 times 1.2 times 5.5.
All right. Man, I hate this board, but I tried to write it. Y'all agree with Mason so far? Well, let's look and see. He's got 5.5, 5.5. He's got 1.2 and 1.2. He's got 1.6 and 1.6. So he's got them all listed twice. He's remembered to multiply them all by 2. So far, so good. All right. Tell me the next line.
17.6 plus 3.84 plus 13.5.
All right. Y'all check your work with him. So far, so good. It looks like I'm trusting him on this. That's right. Trusting Mason. That's why things get wild and crazy on the Hawkins Show. Next, what you get for the last line?
A equals 34.64 meters squared.
All right, let me check with my trusty computer aide. Ba-boom. Y'all agree with that? Any issues you have? Yeah, I agree as well. I think it said round to the nearest 10th, did it?
Oh, dang it.
That's all right. I would only take off like 90% of your points. Just kidding. All right, thanks, Mason. Good job. Way to knock that one out. And no bye, just hanging up. Good job, Mason. All right. Anybody else want to call in for number 3? The phone lines are open. Love to hear from you here on W407. 407, the Hawk. I'm trying. This is a sleepy day for me. I like drug out of bed today. Not like drugs, but like drug myself out of bed today. Come on, somebody else. Mason knocked that one out. Let's get into somebody else. If you have a phone and you have the guts, call in and try to walk us through. Phone lines are open. Waiting for a caller.
Y'all like my radio voice? Hey, here we go, calling in on a Friday morning. It's a beautiful day. Do some math. We're looking for someone to get wild and crazy. Uh-oh, we got a caller. Let's see who's calling on the Hawkins Show. Hello, welcome to the Hawkins Show, where things get wild and crazy math style. Who am I speaking with?
Who am I speaking with? Interesting. A little feedback lag there. Sorry about that, whoever that was. Who was that? Couldn't understand. Oh, Jennifer with the late turn in of homework. Good job. Oh, did I just call you out on a YouTube live? Let's try one more time, then we're just going to keep moving. Like I said, we're on time restraint today, but I want to get to the ones that y'all really had trouble with.
Come on now, don't be shy. Go ahead and call in. Waiting for some energetic callers this morning. Bring some life to this show.
You hook up to your dad playing Friday. It's awesome. Yeah, a lot of times radio people sound like they have a stuffed nose. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on. If you wanted to call in, just wait, because we're gonna go ahead and do number 3. Number 3 had fractions. Don't let that scare you. We had I'm gonna call them the bottom and the top. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to write 8 equals because I want it to be neater. So we had the bottom and the top, which I would say is 8 1/4 and 12. And we'd multiply that by 2. Plus, and we'll say the sides where there's the 6 2/3. It'd be 6 2/3 and 8 1/4. And we would have the top and, the top side and the bottom side, not the bases. And this one was the most confusing. You really had to look and see that, okay, 12 was on this side, so that means it's going to be the same on this side, so it's going to be 12. And there's another method you could use if you're a little confused, and that is making sure that you have each measurement twice. So let's say I was stuck and I couldn't figure out exactly what the other measurement was for number 3. Well, I could look and say, well, I've got 8 1/4 and 8 1/4, so I know it's not that. I've got 12 and 12. I'm missing a 6 2/3, and that would be the missing side. Did everyone understand what I just said? Don't get sidetracked or lose me. All right, we're going to get into the meat here. If you get stuck on what one of the measurements is, use the process of elimination. Look for the 2 measurements each time. So we're left with 8 1/4 times 2. All right. What did we get for 8 1/4 times 12? Anybody want to answer that? You can answer in fraction or decimal. Anybody want to answer that? What am I going to put for 8 1/4 times 12? Come on, 12 people in here. You can get one person to answer. $198. Well, you went ahead and multiplied it by 2, which I will definitely take. You get 99, and you multiply that by 2, you get 198. Good. What about 6 2/3 times 8 1/4? We had to do that one. Good job, everybody. Now we're rolling. Got a 160. Got more 110s. I'm leaning with oh, Mason. I'm leaning with the 110. That's what you would get. So far, so good. And if you're getting those numbers, it's probably because you typed in like 6.666 or something like that. But remember, you can always do a fraction just by putting the division in parentheses. So you can say 6 parenthesis 2 divided by 3 times, what was it? 8.25. Or you can't. Let's see, we're going to have to set it up in a different way. I'll come back to that and tell you how you can set it up as a fraction on your calculator. This TI-84 is a little different than the calculator I'm used to. But you can round that up and know that it's about 110, especially if we're rounding to the nearest tenth. All right. So we got 198, 110, and last but not least, what's our last measurement? Is that going to be our 160? Yep. All right. Add all those together, and we're going to get good job. 468 yards squared. All right. I'm just going to give you the answers to numbers 4 and 5 because I don't want to run out of time. I want to get to the ones that y'all said y'all had the most trouble with. So number 4, you should have gotten, in fact, I'll let y'all answer it real quick. What did you get for number 4? Let me call in someone. Let's see. Cassie, what did you get for number 4? Yeah, I'm a little late saying that. So good job, Cassie's friend, Alexis. I would have gotten 52 meters squared. You're good. I said that kind of late. So, but number 5, I'll call on somebody. Let's let Cassie go ahead and answer that one. So 52 is the answer for number 4. Awesome. And then Cassie, what's the answer for number 5? For number 5, 15. Are you sure you're looking at your paper correctly? Because I think you just did. You're just looking at the front. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking at your work right now, and you definitely got something different. It looks like you got it right. So what'd you put? 106.8 feet squared is correct. She was looking at the very front. She did hers in an interesting setup. All right, good job. If you have any questions about that, then you can text or email me later. I think I'm just going to stay available today till about 3. So if you want to video or FaceTime or anything like that, then I can try to help you if you really need it. Or you can always text questions as well. All right, number 6. So I was looking at some of y'all's homework on number 6, and some of y'all did some interesting things. You were trying to figure out the measurements, and you drew a line like from the top corner down, but you don't have to you'll never have to create your own height line for the base. So that's a triangular prism. you look at the triangles. We said we do the bases first. And what is the thing that we look for that's going to tell us our base and height? Somebody tell me. Type it in. What are we going to look for? The right angle sign. Good job. Because you can make either of those on that wall of a right angle sign, your base and your height. So on this one, we have a 4 and a 5.2, where the two lines form to meet a right angle. One of them is 5.2, one of them is 4. So that's your dead giveaway for the base. All right. And for the base, usually we do 1/2 base times height for the area of a triangle, but there's two of them. So we're just going to do base times height. So 5.2 times 4, we get 20.8. So look on your work and see if you got 20.8 for your bases. Hopefully you did. Now this is one where using the color coding thing really can help. You can also, again, there's just so many different ways to look at it, and there's so many different learning styles and different preferences. So does anybody with a raise of hands, I don't know why I'm doing that, I can't see anybody, but does anybody break it apart into a net or into individual two-dimensional polygons? When I was doing this with the 6th graders, we had several that found this to be the easiest way. I would say go ahead and write or draw the shapes that you know are involved. Something like this. And then I would just say, so then find the area of this, the area of that, and the area of that. As long as you do it neatly, I mean, that's a good method as well. Okay, so you can just draw the shapes and you could say, okay, I know that one of them is going to be 5.2 times 9. We'll call that the first one. Ah, good point. You could just do that, but that might take a little bit more time. All right. Then you can say another one is going to be, let's say the bottom of that triangular prism, 6.6 times 9. And the last one is going to be that far side. It's going to be 4 times 9. All right. Why 4 times 9? Because we are given the measurement for the 4. And since it's a rectangle, you take the 9 and it's the same on the opposite side, equal and opposite, right? Good luck, Mason. And so we get 4 times 9. Again, on a little whiteboard where it's a fat marker, it's not looking that great, but you can definitely make this look neat. And this could be a, for sure, more organized way of solving triangular prisms or rectangular prisms even. All right. So then we do 5.2 times 9, and we get 46.8. So I'm going to write that in that rectangle. All right, then I'm going to do 6.6 times 9, 59.4. I'm going to write that in that triangle. And then I would do 4 times 9, which is 36. All right, and then you just add all of that up. And what would you get? If you have these numbers, then you did it. Awesome job. What did you get for your answer for number 6? 163 millimeters squared. Good job. Maddie was like sitting there with it and just waiting like, yeah. Good job. If you missed it, look and see. Which rectangle threw you off? It's important to notice where you're getting thrown off visually, where you're trying to figure out the right measurements. Did you get 2 of these correct and miss 1? What happened? Okay. Just know that this is not the same as a rectangular prism. We have this measurement 3 times, and this and this and this only once. It's going to depend on the triangular prism. You can't always go by that. It's only on rectangular prisms that you can count the 2. Do we have any questions about how I got any of these? You missed the last one. What, number 5? Well, you can always go back and see what we did. All right. Are y'all talking about number 5? Oh, so you didn't get the 4 times 9. Yeah. So just trying to throw out as many strategies as I can. Obviously, you're not going to do all of these. It would take forever. Just do whichever ones help you. So the 4 times 9, a strategy would be go ahead and label all of your sides. Okay. So try to figure out, instead of just trying to do it in your head, go ahead and write 5.2 on this side. So I'm going to write it on the other side, 5.2. 9 here. So I'm going to write 9 up there. 4 here. So I'm going to draw an arrow and write 4 over there. 6.6 as the base over here. I'm going to write 6.6 on the other side. So you could go ahead and label everything. That way you don't get thrown off. But just look for how you would do that. Color coding is a good way to do that, or drawing the rectangles. Anybody think drawing the rectangles and triangle might be a good method that you're going to try? I'm telling you, I've seen it work for a lot of people. What line the 4 was on? Yeah, I mean, it had to be the one for the triangle because you had to know a base. So you just got to kind of think about the context clues here. We don't have a ton of time. Anybody want to call in and talk me through number 7? I think what I'll do is I'm going to come back, guys, and I'll do a little bit more detailed explanation on numbers 8 and 9 on a video that I'll send to you guys, because I know we're not going to have time. Anybody want to call in, or you just want me to do this? Somebody call in. Come on. Who was it they called earlier that had terrible feedback? We can run a little late. That's why I separated each one for about 5 minutes. Come on. All right. Well, number 7 was one of the easiest ones. Okay. Why? Because the area of the base is given to you. However, it's the area of one of the bases. Okay. So, oh, sorry. Oh, call in if you want to do it. But hurry. All right, let's see. Hopefully this works and don't get feedback. All right, who am I speaking with today?
Hi.
Hi, is this Jennifer?
Yes, you're my favorite YouTuber. I'm sorry.
What did you say?
You're my favorite YouTuber.
I'm an influencer now. All right. So what did you do first? Let's talk about it. Can y'all hear Jennifer?
Okay, so first, since it already says that the area of the base is 28.4 inches squared, I just multiplied that times 2 and got 56.8.
Good.
So that goes to them.
Yep.
And then I did, for one of the rectangles, the one that's showing it like just upside, it's 8.1 times 12.
Yeah, the one that's like looking like it's closest to us. Good.
Yeah. And I got 97.2. And then
right.
all of them look like it would be 8.1 times 12. So then I just multiplied that by 3 and then added the 56.8 and got 348.4 inches squared.
You got, say your answer one more time.
348.4 inches squared.
All right. At home, snap it up for Jennifer. Awesome job. Thanks for calling in. You have a great rest of the day. Sorry, it was our third caller that gets the prize today, and you are our second caller, so you just missed it. Sorry. Adios.
Okay, bye.
All right. So let's talk about what she said. Great job. She said she got the area of the base because it was given. There's going to be some that are given to you like that. Those are the best. Just remember, there are 2 bases. So make sure you multiply that by 2. And that's what she did first. She got 56.8. And then she noticed that this is a equilateral triangle base. That means that all 3 rectangles are going to be the same, right? If you have 3 of the same sides, then and it's on both sides, and all 3 of your side edges are going to be the same length. All right. So then she just said 12 times 8.1, and then she multiplied that by 3. I know that's weird. I just drew a 3 there, but there's 3 of those. All right. Let's look at number 6. When we did number 6, that one was a scalene triangle. So all of the measurements of the sides were different because a scalene has all different side lengths. You'll see some that are isosceles. All right. You'll see some, you'll know they're isosceles because usually, not always, but usually on the base, they're going to do it like this. They're going to give you the base length here, and then it's going to go straight up the middle for a right angle. All right. If that's the case, then you're going to have one bottom rectangle that's 1 measurement, and then you're going to have 2 sides that are the same. So look, that can be another way of checking to make sure you're getting the right measurements. If you have a scalene, all of them are different. Isosceles, you'll have 2 of the same sides. If you have a equilateral, all 3 sides are going to be the same measurement. All right, so just a recap, because I know it took us a little bit getting started today. This was a test run, so I'm going to come up with a better strategy than this stupid thing and maybe extend our time together next week. But just a recap of today. Strategies you can use, especially for triangular prisms. One is look for this, look for the type of triangle, whether it's isosceles, scalene, or equilateral. Second thing, color code. Put 1 color for 1 rectangle, 1 color for another, and 1 color for another. And then write out the measurements for those, drawing it out as a net or drawing each individual rectangle and just getting that as an image in your head. Lots of different strategies we can use, but just make sure you're doing your work neat and staying organized. But hopefully you can take at least one of those things and put it to practice. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my decision to not give you homework. I'll send out Sunday is when I think when the newsletter will go out, and I'll make a decision on whether we're going to spend another day on this or not. Do you think we need another day? I'll ask that before we move on. Do you think we need another day of this maybe next week? All right. A no, a yes, and a maybe. All right. Well, thanks for getting on and giving me your attention. I appreciate the engagement and you guys commenting. For those of you that I didn't hear much from, start participating, please. And I'm gonna think that you're just signing in and then going and playing video games. All right. So come on here, be willing to participate. I'll try to think of a strategy to get y'all more involved. But good job. I'm gonna sign off so I can get on to the other class. But y'all have a good weekend. 1 week done. Y'all doing great. See y'all.